Well, a new school year, of course, can bring a lot of challenges for children and their parents. A different classroom schedule and new classmates can create stress, particularly for students with autism spectrum disorder. And this morning, Caroline McCarthy, the director of training for Have Dreams, joins us to talk about this transition. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Caroline.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Of course. Well, Have Dreams, your organization supports children with autism spectrum disorder and their families. Tell us more about what parents can do to help their kids get ready for these new routines.
Well, we know that autism spectrum disorder impacts the functioning of the brain and typical development of communication and social skills and sensory. And so one of the things we did was we put together a back to school kit to help parents and families living with ASD to be able to help them work through some of that anxiety and overstimulation that they might be feeling going into a new environment like a school.
And you mentioned anxiety and overstimulation. What are some strategies that you recommend to help ease all of that?
So I think just acknowledging that it's there is a good place to start, and then setting up your environment for success. So making sure that there's clear expectations for the students, that they know what's happening in each area of the classroom. Routines, as you mentioned earlier, is like really important for students with autism, as it is for anybody typically developing. We all need our routines and schedules. And so really working to build those routines back in is important for our students, as well as giving them a safe space to be able to work on breathing and calming, some self-regulation, and the opportunity to communicate with others of what's going on.
And the first day of school, of course, always hectic. What do you believe are some of the most important things that parents need to keep in mind here?
Yeah, so we put together really a timeline for parents to be able to start talking about going back to school so that the conversation's already happening in the house. Even things like going to the playground and things like that, so that the students are comfortable with the environment and the area that they're seeing, as well as, you know, how do you meet a new friend and what happens when someone approaches you and wants to be friends with you? How do you play with them? And then even working towards putting back those routines. I think summer can be so unstructured for all families, and so being able to build that structure back in, starting again with like bedtime routines and things like that, to really get them ready for the transition to the new school.
All right, Caroline, thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining us this morning, and I'm sure you helped a lot of families.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And our back to school kit is on havedreams.org at the parents tab.
Wonderful. Thanks for mentioning that. 6:44 this morning, and today is expected